like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Yeah, I need it now, told him on the lay. I've been moving, dog, yeah, I'm on the way. I don't hear the talk, don't care what they say. I don't got no patience, I can't ever wait. I've been trying to get it, running up all these digits. And I've been in the gym, I've been up doing minutes. I just put in that work, told them it's strictly business. And I see through the face, they all just burning bridges. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Yeah, they don't want it, dog, like I want it, dog. Yeah, they say they want it, then they took the summer off. I've been going down the list, checking numbers off. I was checking on your numbers, told them something's off. I was at the bottom, now you know I'm climbing. Now they sending deals, they know I ain't signing. They been trying to sell it, they know I ain't buying. When they send a text, dog, I ain't replying. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell.
What's next for me, Joe? I'm gonna get that second bell. Where the is it? They should have had them 2 bells ready. Space shine for me.
Yeah. Head up in the clouds, dog, they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test, now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, so nobody's into me. I don't got time, I'm not giving the energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you're not kidding me. You don't got way too close, been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same, I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up for my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose, and I'm still right. Still right, I swear that I'm working them up till like midnight. It's real life, I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose and I'm coming right inside. I'm in mine, yeah. Phone started jumping, what a day. Swear to God I need it, now I can't afford to wait. I just had a fan hit me up from Kuwait. Told him this would happen and we not a minute late. Seen them down bad, now they tryna hate. Same ones try to hit me for the raise. Got a meal, now they coming with a blaze. Check the numbers, fam, I swear I'm getting paid. I'm a Don just like the Perrier. It's one time when I'm looking at a face. On the low like I'm pushing up the bass. Told him come down and I'll meet him at a gate. Got a check and I bought myself a place. They get some money and they blow it on bait. I don't flex but I'm pushing all the weight. Told them all I swear I got it's what it takes. Phone started jumping, what a day. Swear to God I need it, now I can't afford to wait. I just had a fan hit me up from Kuwait. Told him this would happen and we not a minute late.
top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the road, here we go, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like, yeah, you about to see me on demand like, you know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll, hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah. On the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the roll, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll, hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah. On the roll, here we go, here we go. Here we go. On the road, here we go, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Frankie Candles YouTube channel. And guys, Bitcoin. Is Bitcoin dead? It's funny. I saw somebody in the chat was like, this channel's too bearish. Well, if you guys watch the live stream, you will know that my sentiment is somewhat neutral here in the medium term. You can't just read the thumbnails. But my sentiment, guys, is still neutral here. Is Bitcoin dead? Is more pointing towards, is Bitcoin alive? Like, is this thing going to move? Is the actual question. But you know, in the medium term, guys, my sentiment is still a little bit neutral here. In the long term, it is obviously bullish, as we could potentially be entering that next parabolic bull run after this halving. But obviously, we are dealing with some horrific sideways price action. Bitcoin just will not move. We are lingering underneath that value area low just one more time. Yeah, basically, price is in the same place it was yesterday. But we're going to be talking about the key levels, guys, and we'll take a look at some of the altcoins, as there really is not much to update here on Bitcoin. But I want to walk through the charts with you guys, give you my general idea and sentiment on where I think price is going. Are we going up? Are we going down? Are we going up before we go down? Are we going down before we go up? Where the heck is this thing going to go? And is it even going to move at all? Stick around. We're going to be talking about it all on tonight's live stream. And real quick, shout out to Golden, starting off today's live stream with 50 Frankie Candles memberships. Shout out to the GOAT that we call Golden. And if you just got a green name, drop those golden emojis and start those golden showers. I can't believe I just said that. Golden waterfalls. Start the golden waterfalls, guys. If you just got a Frankie Candles membership, shout out to Bitfrog, said shower me. He's talking about the golden emojis, guys. But with all that being said, shout out to the Mafia. Thank you for tuning in. We got Golden in the chat. Obviously, we got Melissa. What is going on, Melissa? We got Sleet. What is going on? He says, hey, yo, what is going on, Sleet? Thank you for being here. We got Cryptic Sniper, B. Griffin. We got Blair. What is going on? Let's see. We got Stellus. What is going on? We got Crypto Billy, Rob the Crypto Snob, Crypto Anon, Chemistry Bro, Tyler Durden, Tony D, Captain Kirk, you know who they are. Go ahead and drop some love in the chat for our mods, guys. They help us out endlessly with this YouTube channel. And if you love them as much as I do, show them some love in the chat. And we got Creighton C and Wick 589 tuning in. And now we can start the show. We just need Dave Digital. But without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and jump on into the charts. Going to be a little bit of a shorter stream here, guys. I'm going to go through Bitcoin super quick. We're going to do 2 or 3 altcoins, and then I got something I got to do tonight. So I'm going to give you guys all the key information, and we're going to hop right on out of here for what we like to call here the express sauce to go. Let's get into it. So here we are, guys, on the Bitcoin chart, and hey, what do you know? Bitcoin is sitting at $61,000. This is a horrifically boring price action, guys, but I will just walk you guys through what I'm thinking here and kind of where I think price is likely to go, right? Now, obviously, if you watch the live streams, you will know I am generally neutral, right? And when I say neutral, I mean neutral in the medium term, right? So over the next couple of weeks, I am somewhat neutral, right? And could we get a move to the upside? Basically the bullish and bearish case for the medium term, in my opinion, is the bullish case would be for this head and shoulders to play out and get a reclaim of this value area low, which, by the way, is sitting at $62,183 before getting another move back up to that POC. And potentially, once we flip that 786, we could eventually look up towards that value area high for our next stop. Now, this is typical volume profile trading. As you guys know, we like to wait for the price to deviate above that volume profile or below the volume profile for a reclaim and a revisit to the POC or value area high. And then once you deviate above the high, this is where we look for the shorts. And then we look to get back into that value area, go back down to the POC, and then back down to that value area low. And here we are, technically deviated below that value area low, and this is why the bullish case would be to reclaim that value area low and get that move back up to the high of the range and potentially even beyond. Which brings me to my longer term sentiment, guys. Obviously, I am bullish in the longer term. As I said, we could be on the cusp of starting this next parabolic bull run. If you're following along with the 4-year cycles, this would be the start of that parabolic bull run. But the question is, are we going to get the dump first? Are we going to get a little bit of a pullback? It is really funny to see like any kind of move to the downside after big moves up like this is like people freak out on a 5% move to the downside. That seems to be the magic number that freaks people out. But in all reality, guys, even if we zoom out here and we take a look at the longer term price action, even if we do get that next big dump to come in and the bearish case plays out, which I will go over in just a second, if you watch the live stream, you will know what that case is. But if we lose this value area low, and more specifically, the line in the sand for me is going to be the 786 here at $58,376. But I will come back to that in just a minute. But once we lose that 786, that is where I am going to be looking down to our next major key levels of support. I know, very, very fresh levels here that we've never looked at before. But obviously, if we go ahead and turn on that VPVR really quick, you guys can see, obviously, we do have that gap below these previous lows. Once we lose that 786, I do think it is going to be more likely to get a move down through the low volume gap into our next key level of support, which is between $51,000 and $52,000. But obviously, we need the bearish case to play out, right? This is why I'm neutral, because again, guys, where we are in the cycle, we would anticipate little fake outs to the downside before our next big move up. And that is really the only reason that I'm really looking for or even feel that that it's even possible to get down to this 51 to 52K zone is simply because we have money flow coming out on the 2-day and money flow coming out on the daily. And other than this little fake out, typically these money flow crossovers do result in pretty big drops, right? 20% drop on this crossover. Come on over to this money flow crossover. We wound up getting about an 8% dump, right? So they're not always completely tragic, but more often than not, when you get these money flow crossovers into the red, you do see a continuation to the downside. Like even here, right, this is a little bit more of an aggressive one. This was obviously like during the bear market, so they're going to be a little bit more aggressive in a bear market than they are going to be on the way up. Remember, like when you're looking at bull and bear markets, you want to take the bearish signals pretty heavily in a bear market, right? If you see a nice short setup in what you think is an upcoming bear market, and the higher time frames are bearish, this is where you're going to take these daily bearish divergences, these daily money flow crossovers into the red pretty seriously, and you would be looking for a bigger move to the downside. And I'm not going to back test it all the way here, but you can see money flow crossover here wound up giving you a 40% dump to the downside, and then this one wound up giving you a 57% dump to the downside. And you can even see, guys, on this way up, the red money flow crossovers do give you moves, right? But they're just not as tragic as in a bear market, right? This is just the difference between a bullish trend and a bearish trend, right? So it's not that you can't look for this to play out, but you're obviously not going to expect them to play out as aggressively as in a bear market. So, but with all that being said, we do have the daily money flow in the red here, which is more of a bearish sign than a bullish sign. So this is, just binarily the charts are, the daily looks pretty bearish. The 2-day looks pretty bearish as far as money flow. But if we can get that fake out on the money flow, very similar to what we saw happen back here. I know I cover this every single day, but this is for the new people. We were looking for this fake out on money flow back here in February based off that same thing, right? If we're in the middle of the start of a bull run here, we're not going to expect this money flow crossover to be very aggressive, and honestly, we may even expect it to be a fake out, right? Now, we didn't really get the fake out on money flow here currently, but we could still see this only spend a little bit of time in the red as we cover almost every single day as we've just been going sideways. Typically, when you start, once you pass the halving, guys, you do not really see money flow stay in the red very long, right? Like even here, you sneak into the red, back into the green, you spend a lot of time in the green, sneak into the red, and then you spend more time in the green, right? So in a bull market, you're going to spend a lot more time in these green money flow waves, right? And like even here, like you didn't even get the crossover, didn't even come close to the 0 line, and then eventually, right, you get the first real money flow crossover on the daily. But what was that? That was simply the start of that May 2021 dump, right, which resulted in that massive dump of 50%. So, with that being said, we have to extrapolate all these techniques and talk about them in context of the current price action. So, if we're going to see things play out like they have in the past, we may be able to see this money flow just scoot back up to that 0 line somewhat quickly, in which case I wouldn't really call it a fake out on money flow, but just rather a light money flow wave or a light red money flow wave. But, with that being said, the charts on the daily and the 2-day are technically bearish, right? This is binarily bearish. This is not my opinion, right? This is just simply a bearish signal, right? This would make you anticipate the downtrend to continue, so we have to be open to that, right? And then if we do wind up getting that move down, our next key zone of support, this is the must-watch level, guys. It is going to be sitting right here. Obviously, we took a look at this yesterday. Between about 59,950 and 58,354. This is going to be the key level of support, right? And then that 786 being the real line in the sand that would make me expect lower. And then once we lose this, Technically, it is going to be these lows right here, right? The current lows that we have, because technically we could come down here and potentially fake out those lows before getting another big move up. But now we're talking about trades here. But really, once we lose this 786, that would be a little bit more bearish in my opinion if we decisively lose it. And then that is what would make me look for that bigger move to the downside. And to be quite honest with you guys, if I just pull up, actually, let me pull up my face camera here. I'm going to pull up a premium chart here, but there's some setups, some trade setups on the screen that I'm going to go ahead and hide because it would not be fair to the people who pay. But the reason I want to bring this up is simply because we have all the major key levels here, right? Not only does this 786, obviously the line in the sand for me to look a little bit more to the downside, again, targeting that 51 to 52K zone. But what I want to show you guys here is, this chart is fully marked up with all of the premium TA here. And what I want to do here is I just want to pull up some of the key levels, right? And I want to show you that not only is the gap here visualized on the volume profile, but you can see there, and just quick side note, guys, this 786 also has the backup of that daily level of support, right? This daily horizontal level. So you do have confluence on that 786, right? So this level is definitely going to be that last level of support that we need to hold, right? Not only is it the Fibonacci retracement, but you also have the confluence of that daily level. But now let me turn on some of these naked points of control, right? These are very, very strong levels, right? These are daily, weekly, and monthly levels, and they are naked points of control, which are some of the strongest levels of support and resistance that I like to look at. And not only that, right? I won't even show the dailies, right? Or I guess we could show I won't even show the dailies, right? I'll only show the high time frame levels, right? I'll hide this daily, and then I will pull up the weeklies and the monthlies. And as you guys can see here, right? I mean, screw it. Let's put them all on, right? there is not much underneath us, right? It's not just the volume profile, right? There's no points of control, which are volume derived anyway, but there's no horizontal levels. There is no consolidation, or there was no value built in between these prices, right? Which not only gives us the volume gap in the VPVR, like you guys see when we pull up the VPVR, right? You just have a big old gap here, right? And this is typically where we see price go through very quickly, right? Typically these areas, once you lose support and you fall into that low volume gap and you get accepted, you do see quick moves down. We always say on the channel, quick moves up typically end up in quick moves down. And when you just look at this in terms of key levels, guys, there's literally nothing here. Right? And it makes sense. But where are all those key levels, right? Other than this daily naked point of control, which, as you guys know, on the VPVR, we were looking at those little volume nodes that we have down there, but they're not really that key. So in my opinion, if we hide the daily levels and we only look at the weeklies and the monthlies, really the next key high time frame level is not down until 51.8, right, where we have a monthly naked point of control and a weekly horizontal. So it's not just the VPVR, it's also just the key horizontal levels that are going to be like the next real key level. Like, there really is nothing there. This is why, I am open to the potential move to the downside. I know a lot of people don't like to hear, obviously it's not great for YouTube, right? YouTube, and especially more, the CandleMafia are more trade focused, and I would say the CandleMafia is like one of the more advanced, or a lot of the CandleMafia, at least if you've been following since the beginning of the channel, I feel like you guys have grown on this channel to be pretty experienced in looking at the charts. I could just tell by the questions you guys ask and the comments that you guys make in the chat. You guys are really learning and starting to understand this stuff. So a lot of the Mafia is what I would call somewhat experienced, right? And some of you guys are super experienced. But a lot of the new people just don't want to hear it's going down, right? Because if you're new to the market, chances are, just statistically, just like I did when I first got into crypto, if you are new to the charts, you probably bought somewhere up here, right? So the thought, if you were buying up here, right, typically you buy, the new people will buy, like, think on the pumps, right? So, like, you're buying here thinking it's going to break out, and then you, like, hate crypto, and then you're like, oh my God, we're going to break out, you buy, and then you're like, I hate crypto, and you're like, oh my God, we're going to break out, you buy, and then, like, they get wrecked, right? So people who are buying crypto or buying Bitcoin up here in the 60s, the thought of coming down to $51,000 is straight up painful to even think about. And I'm not saying we're definitely going to 51K, right? We're traders. It's an if this, then that statement. Trading is simply an if this, then that statement. It is not about picking a side, bullish or bearish, and then just sticking to it, right? I am not bearish or bullish, right? I am a trader. I trade the chart in front of me. Sometimes it's bearish, and it all depends on the time frame you're looking at, right? On a long enough time horizon, I'm a permabull on crypto, right? Over the next 10, 20, 30 years, I am super bullish on crypto. I think that blockchain technology will absolutely take over the world. Obviously, I'm speaking kind of exaggeratingly, but I am a mega bull on crypto. But, to be honest, right, to someone like me, a pull down to 51, 52K is just like really nothing that bad. It's nothing that crazy, right? I could suck that in, no problem, and then just look for new long entries to get another move to the upside. But just because we are looking at a possibility of coming down to 51 or 52K does not mean we are bearish on crypto. So it's not that this is going to start a big cascade down to zero, but maybe just a flush of all of the leverage that has been built up, or all of the liquidity that has been built up on these big moves up, right? Because I explain this very, very often, guys, but I will go over it because this has a lot to do with why the market actually moves, right? Not just trying to guess bullish or bearish and cross your fingers, or read a bullish news article and cross your fingers and hope that price is going to go up. But simply put, and again, I'm not saying we are definitely going down there. Our bullish case is to come up to the value area high, which is sitting up here in the 70s and potentially beyond. But again, it's an if this, then that statement. If we lose critical support, then we're simply going to look down to that next key level. And instead of seeing that level break and then seeing that gigantic red candle just shooting to the downside, and you're like, oh my God, where are we going? You can simply sit on your hands and be like, oh, we might be going through that low volume gap, which I will pull up to visualize with you guys to make it even simpler, right? You may just be sitting there and be like, oh, I know what's happening. We're just simply broke key support, and we are now living within this volume gap, which is going to cause that quick move down to our next key level. And you can simply sit on your hands and wait for price to approach your trap. And then once you get within this trap, you can analyze the price action, look for your bullish confirmations for a potential long entry, and that is how you can get into a trade similar to the one that I'm holding from down here at 42 or 39,998. I think it was my actual entry, almost 40K even, right? Very similarly, when the Bitcoin ETF was approved, everybody was buying up here. A lot of people were bullish, but we were simply looking at a buy the rumor, sell the news scenario. And not just that, but the charts were pointing to the downside, right? We had a massive bearish divergence on the daily. We had money flow coming out, and we were calling for a potential dump coming in here. But that didn't mean that I was bearish on crypto, right? The comments were crazy. Like, oh, the Bitcoin ETF is approved, and this guy is bearish. What the heck is wrong with him? And I totally understand where that comes from, right? I would think that too back when I started in crypto. But simply put, we got that move to the downside we were looking for, but what was I doing down here? I was giga longing, right? So it's not, I want everyone to start looking at bullish and bearish less binarily, right? You could be bullish and bearish at the same time. It's all about context and time frame, right? So we might have been bearish, you know, over the next couple days or weeks or whatever. But then once you come down here, hit some key levels, which actually, by the way, we did give away for free here on the live stream. But very similarly, right? Like, we're not just calling for zero. It's just like, hey, we're probably going to pull back somewhat. And then we get the pullback of 20%, and everyone's like, oh my God, the bull run's over. And it's like, take a deep breath, read the charts, and trade the chart in front of you, right? This is at least how I handle things. So with that being said, as people enter positions, right? You have to understand there is a lot of leverage in crypto. You know, we got those crypto degenerates, and you know that when you trade crypto, a lot of people like to use high leverage, right? 25, 50, 100x leverage. And what this does, guys, is it builds up liquidity below, right? So if you you know, where we are long, right? I am long from down here, but most people won't go long until they start seeing these massive moves. So simply what happens is, you know, we look at this as a range, but as we break out here, people will long, right? Now, what does this do? It leaves their liquidation levels just below where they enter, right? Depending on how, or their liquidation levels and stop losses are left behind, kind of like a trail, right? It's kind of like a breadcrumb trail. So as they enter, their liquidation levels and stop losses are left below, and these stop losses and liquidation levels are simply, right? And if you do not know what I'm talking about, a stop loss or a liquidation level is simply when you're in a leverage trade and the price goes against you too much, you will get liquidated, right? And the trade will be closed and you lose all the money that you have on the trade. And it just force closes the position, right? And a stop loss is a level that you set so you don't get liquidated and lose all your money, and you just set a stop loss to only lose a part of your money, right? And you could select how much money you're willing to lose on each trade, and then you set that level in the market. But the thing is, these levels sit in the market, and these do something, right? These are not just like, these are important, right? So simply put, even on this move up, right? People will long, and their stop losses and liquidation levels are left below, right? Now, this is what we call liquidity, right? It is simply just orders in the market, whether it's a stop loss or a liquidation level. Because when you get stopped out of a long position or liquidated out of a long, it's a forced sell, right? So it creates a market sell, which creates these panic liquidation wicks that you see oftentimes in crypto, like this, where you see a big move down and then that gigantic wick. This is oftentimes, right, this big liquidation wick, and you could look at the actual order flow to see what exactly is going on, and you can actually see if people are actually getting liquidated. But while that's loading, you can see here, right, this big liquidation wick down was likely due to all these people who were longing, right, all in here, right? Because if you were long here, right, your stop loss is probably below this low. Your liquidation level is probably somewhere down here. All these people longing this move up, all their liquidations are down here, and still that liquidity is still sitting down there, right? Just because there's liquidity doesn't mean that you're guaranteed to come see that level. But this big liquidation wick, right, once you come down and start wrecking everybody longing here, you're going to get these forced closures or market sells in the market, right, which is going to cause that large amount of sell pressure, right? So how can we use this, right? We are pretty much dancing with danger here, right? This is why if we break this 786, not only are we supported, but is the volume profile supporting this theory, but we know there's probably a lot of liquidations and stop losses from all these longs built up in this area. So once you start tapping into that, that's where that big liquidation will come, and you start to see that candle go boop, boop, boop. You're like, oh my God, what's going on? What the heck? Oh my God. And then all of a sudden you magically kind of stop. and you start to bing bong around. And that is likely because you're hitting a key level of support, which we now know is sitting right here between 51 and 52K. I am here to teach you guys, right? So you can understand this as well and understand how the market moves. It's not about calling up or calling down. It's about when something happens, are you prepared to take advantage and make money like we are, right? So very simply put, that is how it works, right? This is not my opinion, but this is, why this is such a key level of support to hold. And again, it's not just the volume gaps; it's also just the theory and the thought of where the liquidity is sitting. And we can also use things like liquidation heat maps. And I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but as we look at the order flow, which is, I know this is very scary looking to a lot of people, but simply put, this can show us where a lot of people were liquidated, right? So on this big drop to the downside, you see these big red bubbles. This is letting me know that there was a ton of longs getting liquidated in this area, and that is likely what caused that big spike down, because if people were longing right under here, let me hide this, right? If there were a lot of people longing under here, once price starts hitting those people's stop losses, which are, again, likely sitting below, right? Because if this is a range, even we like to long the bottom of the range, right? Or a deviation of the range, right? So where's your stop loss have to go on a long? It's got to go below, right? And a lot of people will put it below the last swing lows, which is right here. So once you start hitting this level, right, you're going to start stopping people out and liquidating people, and that's what causes that big move to the downside, right? And you could also look at open interest, right? See this big red candle on the open interest? Let me stretch that out for you. Right? Open interest shows you the positions that are opening and closing, right? So when open interest is going up, it means people are generally opening more positions than closing. And when you get these big red candles, it's showing that a lot of people are closing positions, which is another way that you could try to tell if people are getting liquidated, or you could just simply look at the big rec bubbles, right? So this is just a little bit more of an advanced tool to see exactly what is going on, because I know some of you guys out there, the ones that are taking notes, are probably like, well, Frankie, how do you know if it's just sell pressure or if people are actually getting liquidated? Because this is information that you can use, right? If there's actual sell pressure, you're probably not going to want to long that move, right? This is why catching knives is really dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. It's dangerous if you know what you're doing, right? I don't even try to catch knives because it's so risky. But if you can look at this stuff and actually confirm what's happening within the market, you can know, right? If you have a big liquidation wick and you know that it's liquidations and longs getting stopped out and it's not moving down based off genuine sell pressure, then it might be a good idea to start longing after all the longs get wrecked, right? And that is where you enter right as everyone else gets wrecked, and that's how you can long the bottom and short the top. But you could also use things such as liquidation heat maps, which I think is a little bit more friendly to beginners, which I will pull up here in just a second, or right here. And you can see this is simply look at all this liquidity down below, right? Like I'm not making this up, right? This is just simply what we're dealing with right now. On the liquidation heat maps, these hot yellow boxes show areas where there are high concentrations of liquidation levels sitting. So you can see we have a lot of liquidity sitting above the highs, and then we also have a lot of liquidity where we think it's sitting, right? Based off where everyone's stop loss and liquidation levels are sitting. You can see it represented here on the heat map, right? So this is how I view the market, right? And this is how I'm able to identify potential good entries, right? And this is why I am saying, right, that it's a little bit not sketchy, but it is absolutely extremely important that we hold these levels, guys, because if we don't hold these levels, not only is there a volume gap, but just understand all this liquidity is sitting and waiting to get taken, right? A lot of times the market, especially if you have big institutions that are looking to manipulate the market to specifically fill their bigger orders, right? This is oftentimes why we see manipulation, why you see these liquidity runs, is because you will see they will manipulate price into these high liquidity areas to wreck everybody and then push the price down to fill their larger orders, right? So that's enough on that. I don't want to go too deep into that, but I just figure, right, as price is just simply sideways here and not really doing anything too exciting. I mean, we have simply, let's see, where are we? Monday, right? Like, we are just simply moving around this little 3% zone, like even just bing-bonging around in this range. Things are very boring, so I figured I'd just drop a little extra educational value to help you guys come to your own conclusions, right? And this is just simply what I like to look at. So again, key level of support, 58,364. We lose that. Now you can understand a little bit, and it might take a little bit more than one time to actually fully understand it. Obviously, you're not just going to get it from a little quick live stream clip here, but you can kind of understand that once you start losing that level, why. Like, I think there's a lot of people out there, and no hate on that, but there's a lot of people out there that'll just be like, this is the key level. If we lose this level, it's over. And it's like, it's not over. Like, be more specific. What do you mean? You're going to scare people, man. And that's not going to help people make money. And I'm not about that, right? I'd rather show you exactly what I look at, and you guys can take it for what it's worth. But it's never financial advice, as you guys know. But now you can know if you lose that key level exactly why you would anticipate a move down. But again, that is the bearish case. The bullish case is simply to reclaim, let me come on to the live stream chart here. The bullish case would be simply that this head and shoulders is going to continue to play, or is going to wind up playing out, flip that value area low to support, and then once we decisively hold above this level with higher time frame candle closes, that is where we can see the bigger move to the upside. So there you go, right? And I will just say, from a chart perspective, right? This is not a fundamental perspective, just from a chart perspective and specifically a money flow perspective. The higher time frames could be potentially pointing to more downside, but we just have to cross our fingers and hope that the crypto bull run gods are going to give us one of those short money flow waves in the red to skirt this thing back up, similar to this, where we just go into the red, back into the green. We're praying on those crypto gods to come in and save us right before we blast off into that next move to the upside, right? So not bearish, not bullish, just if this, then that's. And that's the way I handle the market. And we've done very well. So there you go, guys. That is what I'm looking at on Bitcoin. And to be honest, I mean, yeah, like just looking at history, right? Like this is very, very close to what we are seeing, right? In my own personal opinion, right? If I pull up let me pull up the cycle chart really quickly. If you guys do not know what we're looking at here, this is simply just a chart that I made a very long time ago and been sharing with the Mafia for, which is crazy. I've been sharing this with with you guys for like a couple of years now. And we were able to almost nail Bitcoin's move here based off this cycle chart, but real quick, just to kind of show this, right? Here's your halving in 2020, and then what happens in that price action, right? Simply put, more or less, you kind of just go sideways, right? And then sure, like you get a little move to the downside, right? This might have been a little scary. This might have been a little scary for new people, right? This might have been a little, this is kind of like more like what we're seeing, right? This actually looks very similar. You don't really have a full head and shoulders here, but you kind of have that little, and then that big move up. But again, if you pull up money flow here, money flow is pretty bearish here on the 2-day, right? Money flow is coming out. This would make you anticipate a longer-term trend to the downside, but you didn't get it. Why? Because you just had the halving, right? It was very likely you were going off into a parabolic bull run. And this is why, and I've been saying this on the live stream very often, if we were not where we are in the cycle right now, I would simply just be bearish as all get out, right? I'd be like, this is super bearish. We're definitely going to see more downside. That 2-day money flow crossover into the red would be absolutely horrific. This thing's going to zero. Not zero, but I would be calling for downside. But because of where we are in the cycle, I am very open to money flow just skirting back up here and giving us a bigger move to the upside. But we cannot ignore what the charts are telling us. So there you go, guys. Hopefully that helps some of you guys out there. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Whilst we're still above the bull market support band and it's tightening, there is still hope. Yeah, absolutely, guys. I do not think that the bull market is over by any means whatsoever, right? Even if, right, it's funny. Even if we get a move down to 51 to 52K, I am not, scared, right? I am more nervous. I would rather, right, everyone's scared of the move down, right? I would prefer the move down. I'm more nervous for the move up, right? Because I would love to buy more. But I just don't know if we're going to be lucky enough to get down there. So yeah, same thing. And then you can see here, just like I showed on the 2020, come on over to the daily here. And then this is the inverse head and shoulders that we've been looking at, right? Just bada boom, bada bing, bada boom, right? And then you pull that measured move. Go ahead and hide that fib real quick. Let's grab our little head and shoulders tool. Where we at? Bada boom. Right? And I'll just kind of rough this out. Bada boom, bada bing, right? And we can just, I'll just kind of rough this out, right? Bada bing, bada boom, right? So if we complete this, this would give you a measured move, right? Or I guess if we pull it like this will give you essentially a measured move to bring you somewhere pretty close back to these highs, like almost right into this daily naked point of control. We've showed this many times. So will this head and shoulders play out, right? Or inverse head and shoulders, I guess technically. But will that play out, right? The question is, the answer to that is nobody knows, right? Nobody knows. Inverse head and shoulders don't have a 100% hit rate, and neither does money flow. So it's all about probability, right? And then managing your risk accordingly. And that's how you actually make money in the market, not just seeing a head and shoulders and praying that it goes up, right? It's not how it works. But there you go. That is what I'm looking at on Bitcoin, guys. The same thing we've been looking at for days. And with that being said, shout out to Rob the Crypto Snob. If you can go ahead and get your pen and pencil out, and about to send the mafia after you with these altcoin spams. Go ahead and drop your favorite altcoin in the chat if you guys want to see. Your favorite altcoin. Go ahead and drop them. Rob the Crypto Snob will count up the votes and let us know what we are looking at. Hey, shout out to my dad in the chat. So some love to the real Godfather out here. Shout out to my dad. Thanks for tuning in. And he says, should I buy GameStop? Yeah, actually, real quick, while you guys are dropping those altcoins, let's take a quick look at GameStop. Shout out to my dad. I was actually thinking about you today and yesterday as Roaring Kitty is back. Me and my dad just recently watched this video on a family trip with Mrs. Candles, actually, was there as well. But yeah, we watched I think it's called Dumb Money, and it's the whole story about GameStop. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen it, but obviously GameStop is going absolutely ballistic. Roaring Kitty is back. Let's go ahead and pull up. I guess we'll look at this one. I'll pull up the Heikinashi candles just because the gaps are kind of annoying to look at. And here we are, right? These are the levels that we looked at yesterday. And yeah, didn't get the pullback. This was a key level of support. Obviously didn't get the pullback as these meme stocks, are basically moving off of hype, right? But we had these key levels of resistance, wound up respecting this last little weekly naked point of control. But again, I would be very cautious with this. You don't want to be like shorting these as look what happened when the big boys were shorting GameStop. So I would not be shorting this thing anytime soon. But this is, I don't know. It's kind of hard to say, right? Because I don't want to say that we're not going to see another huge run on GameStop. Obviously, we've already seen a gigantic move. It's up. This is ridiculous. But it's not. This is definitely much different than the first time around. I am not touching this. I'm not a meme stock guy. I'm a little bit of a meme coin guy. But, my question is, if we see something similar happen here, I don't know who's shorting GameStop anymore. I think it's definitely a different situation than the first go-around with GameStop and AMC and stuff like that. It's just like, it already happened, right? So now this second round is with the context of understanding that, okay, this is what happened last time, right? So that is just generally going to change the situation, in my opinion. But with that being said, it does not mean that we can't see this thing go on an absolute rip here. So, but I'm sure the big boys are protecting themselves a little bit more. The question is, if they aren't, is Robinhood, are they going to start halting it? Which maybe they are. Yeah, I want to look into that. I wonder if they're going to halt it again. Hopefully not. And obviously that's completely immoral to do. I heard Dave Portnoy saying this. He's like, they don't halt it when you're losing, right? They only halt it when the little guys are winning, which is absolutely ridiculous. So shout out to anybody in GameStop and AMC. I stand with you, but I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. But hey, a lot of people are probably going to make a lot of money. But again, I think that next little GameStop run is probably going to be a little bit different. But we'll have to wait and see. As far as money flow, we were looking at this yesterday, guys. The money flow on GameStop actually isn't really looking that bad, right? You have money flow coming up a little bit on the daily here. Depends on what chart you're looking at. But yeah, even the 3-day coming up here, your 2-day money flow crossing into the green. Typically, when you see these money flow crossovers into the green, I mean, look at this last 2-day money flow crossover into the green, right? Bada boom. Money flow crosses over, results in the absolute explosion of 10,778%, right? Let's see if we can go back even further in time, right? 2-day money flow crossover right here. I'll just mark them out really quickly with you guys. Bada boom, bada boom, bada boom, right? So this 2-day money flow crossover resulted in 57%. This money flow crossover resulted in 164%, right? And it doesn't mean that this 2-day money flow crossover is just instantly going to give you a move up. This is not going to work 100% of the time, but you can see by backtesting this is why it's a game of probabilities and risk management. 28% on this one, so this one was a little bit less explosive, but, History doesn't repeat itself, but it oftentimes rhymes. And then this one obviously was pretty big. And then this next one that we're seeing right now, you can barely see it. It's just barely peeking into the green here. But you can see, right, I guess right on the crossover here, we'll even be conservative and pull it from the actual candle. Winds up giving you 369% already. So pretty wild stuff here. This does not look horrible to me. But again, for me, I would have to wait for a pullback, right? Now, could I miss the move? Absolutely, right? But I am not going to buy the top of these green candles. I would much rather wait for a pullback, which, as you guys know, I don't know if we're going to be lucky enough to come back down to $22. It's a pretty big drop at this point. But this would be a key level of resistance. These weekly naked and monthly points of control have now been tapped. So that is going to be, these are now, I'll leave them up here, but they're not as key, in my opinion, now that they are tapped. But yeah, I mean, let's see here. Let's pull some fibs. Let's see. Yeah, it's a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I would really love to come down that weekly naked point of control. But I just don't know if you're going to be lucky enough. But yeah, I stand with you, meme stalkers. Shout out to you guys. But anyway, let's go ahead and continue on here. Shout out to Dave Digital. Happy birthday, Rob, I think is what he said. I lost it. Yeah, happy birthday, Rob. Shout out to Dave. Never forgetting that it's Rob's birthday every single day. So, guys, I believe Rob the Crypto Snob. Oh, my God. Shout out to my dad saying what's up to Tony. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's see. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue on here and take a look at, we'll start with Ethereum, and then we will go ahead and move into the altcoin list. Rob the Crypto Snob said the alts are in and being counted, and here we are. Let's take a look at Ethereum. Let's resize this to make it a little bit easier to look at. And let's take a look here, right? So I'm going to come on down to the 4-hour, and here we are, just clinging. Absolutely clinging as this value area just continues to sneak down. We are absolutely, I would actually re-pull this fib to right here, and I would make this resistance right here. You have your value area low, 786, golden pocket. But we are just absolutely clinging to this daily naked point of control, right? Sitting right here at 2890. I'll be honest with you guys, Ethereum's kind of the same thing. I don't know, and this is kind of why we're in the same spot as yesterday, right? Like, this is absolutely brutal. But if you guys can see here, right, let's zoom out, right? This is just going to be the same old ETH that you guys have been getting for the past couple weeks because we just have not gotten moves. You got to reclaim this, in my opinion, not only the value area low, but this 786 at 2967 to get another move to the upside. But even then, the point of control of your range is sitting at about $3,000. So for that reason, between the fact that the POC is at the psychological level of 3,000 and that the 786 is so close to that POC, I would actually make that the key level. Right, you got to flip that $3,000 level to see any kind of significant move up on Ethereum. And by significant, I mean relative to the recent price action, which would, when I say significant, I'm really just talking about a move back up to that value area high, which is only 6%, right? So not actually significant, but just significant in terms of the context of the recent price action. So with that being said, Frankie Candles, what happens if we break down? Well, shout out to anybody who's watched the live stream for the past, I guess technically since we pumped right here, next key level of support is simply put going to be this daily horizontal at 2642, right? So if we do, and then if we pull up that VPVR to try to visualize where that volume is actually sitting, it's actually not the scariest. Like you could see, unlike Bitcoin, right? Right below this range, there is actual consolidation, right? Or we're actually on the 4 hours. Probably looks like that on Bitcoin as well, but not even, right? Like we actually do have little pit stops here that we just simply don't really have on Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin just kind of just all green candles to the upside. So the reason I bring this up is because these little areas of consolidation where price sticks gives us this little spike in volume, right? This lets us know that there's some interest at these levels, right? It's not a complete void in volume, right? When you see the real big gaps in volume, right? Let me see if I can get one here. There we go. Right, like when you get these real big gaps in volume, come on, VPVR, you could do it. There we go. Let me just actually isolate this a little bit because we're starting to see other price action. I just want to see this. But when you get these like gigantic voids in volume, like this is really where you see price move very quickly, right? From this high volume node to this high volume node. But you guys can see, right? Zoom back in here. We actually do have that little spike in volume that will pop up in a second. There we go, right here, right? So it's not like Bitcoin. Bitcoin has like nothing here, right? Which would make for a very quick move down. But for Ethereum, you actually do have these little, and I'll mark these out because you have a couple of other daily levels here. Grab those horizontal ray, right? So you have your daily negative point of control. Yeah, your daily level here. You also have a daily level right here, right? So you do have interest on the way down. So I guess technically your next real key level, not major, like this is more interesting in my opinion because you're supported by the much more volume down here, right? So that makes this level a little stronger in my opinion. But you do have a daily level within this little cluster, right? So if we do get another move down, you're probably going to get some kind of interaction or reaction off of this key level here at 27.86. And then if you lose that, very likely you're going to come down to that next daily sitting at 26.42. But basically the same levels that we've been looking at for quite some time. Daily green dot potentially looking to print. So the bullish case is very similar to Bitcoin. I can't believe I'm up here saying the same thing once again. God, crypto move, please, for the love of God. For the love of my sanity, please do something. But obviously, you guys now know that key. I'll actually mark this out and label it. I'll actually mark this out and label it key because this is going to be your key support flip here, in my opinion, right? So we got to get above this to get some kind of move to the upside. And that is sitting at just about $3,000 even. So there you go. Shout out to Creighton C. Thank you for the super chat, bro. He says, Dave would have liked to know. Wait, hang on one second. Hang on. Shout out to Creighton. Said, Dave would have liked to know, or if it's time to long Matic, I'm not getting involved. He's your kid. Shout out to Creighton C, bro. The dynamic between Dave Digital. Yo, Dave, what do you mean? Dave said, God, shout out to Dave Digital. The dynamic between Dave and Creighton is absolutely hilarious. But we can take a look at Matic in just a second. And let's see, bada boom, bada bing. Okay, shout out to Rob. Rob the Crypto Snob said he's actually had raw milk at a dairy farm. Interesting. I don't think I've ever drinking raw milk. I imagine it's not great. Okay. All right. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Did we miss? There we go. Rob the Crypto Snob. Thank you. They already pinned it. Shout out to the best mods in the game. All right. So let's go ahead and take a look at ABT, or as some people like to say, Abbott. Let's come back on over to crypto here and take a look. Okay. Well, there we go. It's following right along with our line, guys. I'm just kidding. But here we are. Let's take a look here at Arc Block. And actually, funny enough, this was the next level we were looking at. Now, I don't remember if we had already tapped it or if we are now, I don't remember exactly when we, hey, Mrs. Candles, in the chat, why don't you come on over here and show us those nice little fanga tips you got? You're not in the chat? Why are you not in the chat? They don't smell like anything right now. All right, nice high five, though. Shout out to Mrs. Candles. Drop those Mrs. Candles hands in the chat if you're a Mrs. Candles fan. Not a Mrs. Candles hand, a Mrs. Candles fan. Shout out to Mrs. Candles. Or both, but anyway, let's go ahead and take a look here, right? So this key level is just simply a Fibonacci extension level. And, this is our next key level of resistance. If we break this, actually, nice to see this thing moving. And here you go, right? This is kind of what we want to see on Bitcoin. Right? If we're going to get another move up on Bitcoin, this is what we want to see. I'll be honest, like right now, a lot of the alts look the same, right? But also, like, there's a lot of alts that look better than Bitcoin right now. But this is what we want to see, right? Where you come on, even though we're already in the red with Bitcoin, we want to see we want to see the money flow shoot back up into a bigger green wave here. So with that being said, fresh green dot on the daily here for Arc Block. And, if we break this next level, this same thing we were looking at last time, right? 496 is that next major Fibonacci level that I see to the upside. If I were to hide all this, put it in a folder and hide it, I could pull a little bit more of a local fib. But to be honest, I would really, I really would prefer to look at the one that we were looking at. But let me see if I could find some more local levels. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. Yeah, I just look at the other one, right? I will say, if we break out here, 496 likely going to be a level that we interact with. That would be the next target, in my opinion. So there you go, right? Other than that, this looks better than Bitcoin, right? This looks better than a lot of things. This is, to be quite honest. Fresh green dot on the daily, 2-day fresh green dot as well. Money flow starting to tick back up there. This is what you want to see. Please, for the love of Bitcoin, we need Bitcoin to do this. But yeah, this actually doesn't look bad. Fresh 2-day green dot. This looks much different than Bitcoin. Fresh 3-day green dot, fresh 4-day, not green dot. You're actually looking for a red dot there. But actually doesn't look too bad with these fresh green dots on the higher time frames, especially with money flow coming up as well. So there you go. I'm actually going to clean up the chart here a bit. These levels to the downside do remain valid. Come on. Come on. Come on. Give me this. No, I don't want that fib. I want the other fib. Hang on. Hang on, guys. Bear with me. Bear with me. All right. I want this one out. There we go. Okay. So, yeah, that is, I mean, honestly, that's what I'd be looking at here on ArcBlock. Nothing really too crazy. Red dot looking to print on the 4-hour. I mean, I will be honest. Yeah, potential 4-hour bear div here. But I'll be honest. The higher time frames actually don't look too horrible. Fresh money flow crossover into the green on the 45-minute. Yeah, not looking too bad. So I'll just give you the key levels there, right? Next key level of resistance, 496. Very simply put. If we wind up coming back down here, I would probably watch this golden pocket at 240. That is key support, right? So if we come back down between 240 and 197, this would kind of be, in my opinion, if this thing does correct and it comes down to make a higher low, this could be the first major area. Maybe. Yeah, maybe I would even look a little higher. But yeah, I would be, no, maybe not. I would probably be looking right here because this broke this. So yeah, if we do come back down, I would be looking inside this Fibonacci retracement if it is going to continue up, right? And this money flow is going to continue into a big green wave, and we're going to see a massive move here. This will be a key zone to look at. And then if you get a bigger breakdown, this daily naked point of control is going to be key as well. And then again, you know, the lower levels that we've been looking at remain exactly the same. With this little cluster between $1.23 and $1.06 being extremely important. So there you go. All right, there is ArcBlock. Let me catch up with chat here. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's see. Okay, let's go ahead and continue on here. Taking a look at render, or runder, as some people call it. Bada boom. And this is not the render chart that I want to look at. Take a look at the buy bit. Are we going to make a new render chart here? We just made one. Did we not? Are we on the live stream right now? Okay. All right. This is old. I'll just start a fresh one. All right. So let's see here. All right. Let's take a look. Gonna mark out the key levels first. Just to get an overall overarching view here. Whoops. Okay, that's gonna be a weekly. Bada boom. I would definitely keep an eye on that. Obviously, I'm not expecting this to dump down to this, but these are definitely key levels to the upside. I would definitely look at that. Let's take a look at the monthly. Nope, that's tapped. Bada boom, we got a monthly right here. All right. Let's take a look at the dailies. Let me take some naked points of control here. Yeah, this would be pretty nice support if you get a move down here. in my opinion. Daily naked point of control, weekly confluence here. You got another daily naked right there. And you got, so you got some nice levels here, to be quite honest. Right? And then I can pull a longer term. Should pull this whole range here. Okay, let me turn off the indicators. Let's see. Okay, so these are the key levels that I would be looking at on render. So let me go ahead and pull. Let's see. Okay, yeah, I mean, I would treat this like a volume profile, to be quite honest with you. Right now, we are getting a pretty nice rejection from that golden pocket, but I would be careful of another push up towards that 786 value area high confluence. So, yeah, let me actually just mark that out. Bada boom. Turn it purple for shorts. And then we'll go from here to the high. This is a nice confluent level right here. Golden pocket, weekly and daily, weekly level and daily naked point of control. This actually does not look bad. I would watch that. And then E786, daily naked point of control just below. These are the key levels I'd be looking at on render for sure. Looking in terms of this volume profile, and I would not be interested in trading this until we came up to here, value area high 786, daily naked point of control weekly. If we get that move up here, I would be interested in potential shorts. And then if we come back down to the low and deviate, I would be interested in potential longs down here. But other than that, that is what I would be looking at for render. Let's go ahead and just want to drop as much sauce as we possibly can, give you guys the nice levels here. What am I doing? Neutral. There we go. So this is the context I would be looking at. Let's take a look at the other time frames here. Yeah, 4-hour green dot looking to print. Money flow coming out. Yeah, I mean, the 4-hour money flow does not look great, obviously. You had a nice bearish divergence here. Money flow wasn't coming out at the time, but that money flow coming out on the 4 hours, not that pretty, right? But to be honest with you, I would not be interested in a trade at all here, right? I simply would not be interested until we came to the high or the low of the range. Specifically, I mean, this is nice and confluent level. So I would like a nice little move down there. Also would be a nice place to put in a higher low before continuing up in the long term. So if we do get that dump, right, and this is where I think a lot of people get confused, right? They start to think like, oh my God, like he's so bearish. Oh my God. But no, not really, right? Like this is, I would just be looking at this as a longer term move to the downside to continue, right? To continue that move to the upside, right? And that would also, I guess not really. I was going to say it could have been like a massive inverse head and shoulders for a massive move, but I wouldn't really pay much attention to that. But that's what I'd be looking at on render. There we go. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Shout out to Crypto Billy. Said 2,000-gallon vat tank, refrigerated, yes, but not ice cold. Shout out to Crypto Billy. I don't know if you guys are still talking about milk. Shout out to all the raw milk drinkers out there. Let's see. Shout out to Derek Brown. What is going on, bro? Welcome in. Let's see. Bada boom. All right, let's take a look at Pepe. Pepe. Take a look at Pepe. Here we go. That is not what I wanted. Here we go. Pepe on an absolute move. I don't know what's with the inverse head and shoulders here, guys. I really do not know why I can't unsee these inverse head and shoulders right now. Like, I don't even pay that much attention to the patterns. But these are just, like, for whatever reason, like, I just can't unsee all these head and shoulders. But a really nice, yeah, this actually would have been a nice, this thing is actually, I will say this. Actually, I pull it to here. Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. It's not often that you see a meme coin. Now, Pepe is higher up on the market cap, right? So it's not just some, like, new meme coin that was made the other day. But you know, Pepe's been around for a little bit. It's got a higher market cap, so it does tend to respect the TA a little bit more. But that is just, like, beautiful tap on that golden pocket for the higher low before a massive move up. That is pretty. That is actually very, very pretty. But let's continue on here. Let's take a look at the higher time frames. Take a look at the weekly. Yeah, weekly money flows coming out, but I don't know. This looks strong. You may have money flow come back up here, to be honest. You are a little bit overbought, right? So you're not going to, I wouldn't recommend, for me, I don't buy the top of these green candles. Couldn't you miss the move? Absolutely. But I don't mind missing a move if it means not buying the top of a green candle. So let's see, 5 hour. See the 8 hour red dot. 30-minute money flow coming out. So, I mean, I'll be honest with you guys. I would not be shorting this right now just because the meme stocks are going crazy. The meme coins are starting to pump. So, you don't really want to short into that. But I will say this. If we're going to get a cool-off here, I would be looking at a 30-minute money flow crossover to start that move. How much is left on this candle? We only have an hour. I mean, if you get that 30-minute money flow crossover into the red within the hour, or within the next hour, I would anticipate a little bit of a move down. But I wouldn't be interested in actually trading that, but I would just use it to like anticipate the move. Money flow crossover into the red in the 30-minute, probably going to give you a move down. But let's find some key levels for you guys. Let's see. There we go. Okay. Come on to a higher time frame. Come on, VPVR. There we go. All right, so let's take some naked points of control here. You just change some settings. Bada boom. Okay. And let's take a look here. Let's look at the weekly. Actually, let's look at the monthly. Okay, we don't need that. Let's take a look at the weekly. Bada boom. Okay. Let's take a look at this one. Key support. These are definitely going to be, yeah. These are two major support levels on Pepe. Bada boom. And bada boom. Right here. So I'm not going to read out these numbers because I don't want to butcher the zeros here. But let me just see if we can get any other, yeah. Okay, so if you're looking at Pepe, yeah, I don't know, man. Why can I not unsee this? Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, I mean, this thing, I don't know. But let me just pull a volume profile here. Yeah, so if you do cool off, I don't know if you're going to cool off. I mean, especially, I don't know if you're going to come all the way back down here. But if you do, this will be a beautiful, beautiful area to potentially, for me, not for you, to buy the dip. So that is going to be what I would look at. And let me just tighten this box up a little bit. There you go. Okay. Yeah, this is what I'd be looking at on Pepe. Definitely looks like it's, I mean, this thing is just ripping up. Let me actually check Lux Algo real quick here. Take a look at these, yeah. Smart Trail is a little bit, Smart Trail is like a little whacked out here. Interesting. I've never seen that before. Interesting. I don't know what's up with that. But these are definitely the key levels I'd be looking at, right? If you get a cool-off, I would be very interested in long. I don't know if you're going to be lucky enough to get a move down here. But if you did, these are the key levels. Feel free to screenshot them. I'm not going to say the actual numbers because I don't want to butcher the zeros for you guys. But there you go. Let's see. Yo, Pepe's got dandruff. Yo, shout out to Jocko. Let's see. Shout out to Smoke said, did he say it was going to be a short show tonight? Yes, it's actually shout out to you. Shout out to Smoke. I was just eyeing the clock. And luckily, we only have one more altcoin to look at. Let's see. I actually did not realize that we were running that much at a time. All right. Oh, God, man, this thing looks wonked out. Look at that. Oh, God, sketch. That is sketch. Okay. So let's see here. I don't like this. Let's pull up a different chart. I guess that's all we got to work with. Okay. Take the buy bit spot. Yeah, what is this? Just a washer machine. Just woot. Just completely just wrecked everybody there. But let's go ahead and take a look. Let me see if... okay, there we go. I don't know why that smart trail was so whacked out on Pepe. These meme coins do weird things to the indicators. So I just want to see... Yeah, I mean, we are on top of the bullish smart trail here on Lux Algo. Shout out to Lux Algo, by the way. Channel sponsor. But yeah. Still above that smart trail on the weekly. That is a good sign. And we are on top of the daily smart trail as well. Money flow coming up on Lux Algo as well. 16-hour smart trail. I mean, interesting. All right, let's see. I mean, yeah, money flow on the daily is just 2-day money flow, probably looking similar to Bitcoin. Just chopped up, guys. We're in a chopped up area as it has been for a couple of months now. But let me go ahead and pull this wonked out fib here. Yeah, I don't even know if I would trust that fib. Weird price action here on HBAR. Yeah, like even this range is sketchy. Let's pull up that VPVR real quick. We'll get the levels. Yeah, this is actually cleaner. It's a cleaner range, in my opinion. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Okay, so I will go ahead and take this off the visible range as the volume profile. These levels will move, obviously, over time as they are derived from volume, and volume can be added and change the level. But, yeah, this level here, 7 cents is going to be key. Doesn't line up with anything. Let me take off the VPVR real quick. Take a look at the higher time frame levels. Take a look at the monthly. Man. Oh, that's not closed yet. All right. Take a look at the weekly. I would watch. That would be key support if we get a bigger move to the downside. Sitting at 7 cents. Bada boom. Take a look at the daily. Daily naked point of control. I would just mark out some of these key levels. And you also have a weekly here. Bada boom. All right, so let's turn off that indicator and let's take a look here. So this is the range that I would be looking at, right? As we sit on top of this this POC here. Let's take a look at the daily real quick. Yeah, I would be most interested, to be quite honest with you guys, I would probably be most interested, and I really wish we could get confluence with a fib here, but these giant wicks. Yeah, this would be key here, in my opinion. You have the Lux Algo Smart Trail. You have the, you have the Lux Algo Smart Trail and this weekly naked point of control, the weekly, the 786, and the Smart Trail. I mean, this whole zone, right? Because you're looking at this in terms of the volume profile. You get to move down to the daily naked point of control value area low. This is typically where you want to start looking for longs. And then if you deviate, you have nice backup support here for a potential move back inside the range and another big move up. And that's if you get the move down. That Smart Trail does look pretty clean, at least here on the daily. Let's take a look at the 4-hour. Yeah, just clinging right on. And here's the thing, guys, right? What are you expecting here, right? If you come back, even back onto the daily, right? When you pull this fib from the low to the high, right? Price pumps. We come back down. Where are you looking for these retracements? We front ran that 786 right here, right? Absolutely front ran right here, right? So if price pushes deeper, or we front ran it here, but what are we looking for, right? What would you potentially anticipate, right? You're looking for price to come back down into your retracement levels, right? Either the golden pocket or what? Once you lose the golden pocket, you are going to look for a tap of that 786. And the fact that we front ran it by a couple dollars here, or a couple cents, I guess I should say, it could still get tapped. More often, a lot of the time you will see them get tapped, right? I want to say more often than not, but it wouldn't be shocking to me if you do break that golden pocket. Not only are you also losing the POC of the range, and when you lose the POC of the range, you're going to be looking to go to the value area low, and when you lose the golden pocket, you're expecting to go to the 786, and that is where you are going to be looking not only towards the value area low, but a potential deviation into the 786, and then again, you have that backup support of the weekly and the weekly naked down there, so these are going to be absolutely key. So, yeah, that's what I'd be looking at on H-bar. For the most part, this kind of just washer machine move there kind of wonked out the TA just a little bit. But that's definitely the key levels that I would be looking at and kind of how I would handle things. Let's take a look at some of the lower time frames. Yeah, 4 hour. Yeah, if we got to move down, those definitely be the key levels I'll be watching. For sure. So there you go. Shout out to Lux Algo. If you guys want to check out any of Lux Algo's products, by the way, we do have a free indicator in collaboration with Lux Algo to check it out. Frankie Candles Essentials. If you search on TradingView, you can just go ahead and type in my name, and you can see. Shout out to Lux Algo, one of the best indicator companies in the world, maybe the biggest. There you go, right? You can use my free indicator, no barriers to entry. Just search my name, click it, and you can use it right now on your chart. We also have a tutorial video. Shout out to Tony D for dropping that link instantly. And also, if one of the mods can drop the video on how to use that indicator, I would greatly appreciate it. It's like literally, guys, we spent, how long did we spend, Tony? Like 6 months or maybe even more going back and forth with the team at Lux Algo, designing that free indicator and trying to make it as valuable as possible for you guys. And I was kind of like, I'm very critical of myself. So I'm like, I don't know if people are going to like it. And literally we get comments and chats here in the Discord, in the live stream constantly of people being like, I made money using your indicator. People absolutely love it, and it's 100% free. But if you're interested in their premium indicators, check the link in the description down below. They do a 30-day money-back guarantee, and they are absolutely fire. So check them out. Shout out to Lux Algo. And with all that being said, guys, I think that's all the time we got for tonight's live stream. I had to cut tonight short, just barely, but I do have some stuff to do tonight, and Bitcoin's kind of boring right now. But now you guys have the bullish and the bearish case, the key levels to the upside, the key levels to the downside. And as you know, the charts may be pointing more towards a likely move to the downside. But remember that 4-year cycle may come out and show its face and give us that surprise move to the upside. But for me, I am simply holding my longs and my shorts with stop losses in profit. So if I get stopped out of my shorts, I make money, and then my longs continue to pay me out. And if I get stopped out of my longs, which are very unlikely, to be honest, at least before we speak next, which will be tomorrow, I don't expect to break 40K tonight, right? So if we did, I would get stopped out of my long in profit, and then I will, we wouldn't have to go down to 40K. But if we really start to dump here and break 50K, I don't see a reason to get stopped out of the long down here. Not worried about this long, but if I get stopped out of the short, the longs will continue to pay me out. So I'm kind of in a cushy position, just kind of waiting for price to make its next big move, and I'm going to capitalize either way it goes. And then we can finally start to see some more movement on Bitcoin, because this has been absolutely brutal. But anyway, with all that being said, guys, I got to hop out of here. I will see you guys tomorrow, same place, same time, right here, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Frank Candles YouTube channel. And don't forget, guys, go get yourself some raw milk, and let me know how it tastes. Can't imagine it's good. That's all I got. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong.
Look what's next for me, Joe. I'm gonna get that second bell. Where the is it? They should have had them 2 bells ready. Spit shine for me.
Yeah. Head up in the clouds, dog, they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test. Now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, I can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, don't know what is in me. I don't got time, I'm not giving it energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you're not kidding me. You don't got way too close. I've been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up. up, whose man's high? Through it all, I stay the same. I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up from my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose, and I'm still right. Still right. I swear that I'm working them up till like midnight. It's real life. I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose, and I'm coming right inside. I'm in mine, yeah.
I'm coming. We're not late. Now I'm live again. I'm not late because I smelled your hand, Mrs. Candles. It's because I went over on the live stream. Me smelling your hand took 2 seconds. I don't know if you guys get. It's like you're smelling my hand and stuff. We're in a rush. I gotta go, guys. I'm in trouble. Hopefully, if you guys don't hear from me by 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard tomorrow here on the live stream, please send help. Mrs. Candles is not happy with me right now, so I will see you guys later. Hasta pasta. I love each and every single one of you guys. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hasta pasta. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy. On the road, here we go, yeah we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like, yeah, you about to see me on demand like, you know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't ever going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy. On the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll, ayy. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah. On the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy. On the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll, ayy. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah. Maxed out.